So this is on how to name a compound, and here's the things you need to know. There's two types of compounds. Let's switch this up. One is called binary, and the other is called polyatomic. So I'm going to break this down into super easy steps. Binary is just two elements, but we're just going to say for now, two capital letters. So for instance, you have a compound like this, MgO. There's one capital letter here, one capital letter there. Therefore, it's binary. Polyatomic would be three or more capital letters. So we're looking at, I don't know, let me give you an example. Let's say, I'll be obnoxious, NH4Cr2O7. Clearly, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 capital letters here. So it's polyatomic because it has 3 or more capital letters. All right, now here's our easy flow chart. If it's binary, you're going to use the periodic chart, and you're going to end the anion, which is the name for the negative element, in the letters I, D, E. So let's give an example. Actually, let's use the example that we had right there. MgO. We wouldn't call this magnesium oxygen because it's a compound. We know it's binary because there's 2 capital letters. So then we go to the periodic chart, okay, which is right here, and we find out that Mg is magnesium. So we write the word magnesium, but we're not going to call it magnesium oxygen. We're going to end this in IDE. So this whole thing right here would be called magnesium oxide. And that's one's a little bit of a tricky one because some people like to say like oxygenide, but it's not magnesium oxygenide. It's magnesium oxide. Polyatomic, I think I'll give a different example than the one I used up top. You just simply use the valence chart and you write the name of the cation, plus the anion. So I'll give an example. Let's do something like sodium acetate. Okay, now how did I get sodium acetate? Let's take a look. Once again, we know it's polyatomic because there's more than 2 capital letters, so we're going to use the valence chart. The valence chart is that thing I gave you yesterday that looks like this. So the first thing that we had down there was sodium. Here's Na, so you write down the word sodium. And then the rest of it, C2H3O2, is right here. And so simply, you name that sodium acetate. So the periodic table of elements, if it's binary, the valence chart, if it's polyatomic, and this whole thing right here would just be called sodium acetate. And the end. All right, thank you for being. Does that help anyone out? Yes?